not a controversy. It's a dumb reporter who didn't do any work. Senator, I just had Ted Cruz on. He believes it's constitutional to proceed with this impeachment. I do not. Neither does Judge Luttig, neither does Alan Dershowitz, neither do you. Will there be a debate on this first principle of constitutional law? The Constitution on its plain face says it is for the president, the vice president, and other officials. I don't know how you get around that.
Yeah, Hugh, I hope we'll have that debate. Now, you know, the rules of impeachment are unusual compared to Senate rules. They typically require senators to sit silently at their desk and listen, not to speak, which I got to say, Hugh, for many of my colleagues is their own form of hell, or at least purgatory, to not be able to talk on the Senate floor. But I think it's a debate we need to have. I think for most Americans, by the time we get around to the meat of this trial, not the procedural stuff today and yesterday, Donald Trump will have been out of office for almost a month. And it will just seem exceedingly strange that the Senate is having a trial to potentially convict and remove from office a man who left office a month ago when there are so many other pressing needs. And as you say, Hugh, the Constitution is pretty clear on its face. It says that the president, the vice president, and all civil officers of the United States are liable for impeachment. Donald Trump is none of those things anymore. And I think you're going to see the punctuation mark put on that today when it's Pat Leahy sitting up in the presiding officer's chair and not John Roberts. John Roberts' absence basically confirms that Donald Trump is no longer an officer of the United States who is susceptible to impeachment. I've seen the arguments to the contrary. A lot of them, in my opinion, are far-fetched law school hypotheticals of the kind that simply would not have appealed to the men who wrote the Constitution. They were lawyers, but they were also common sense farmers and merchants and traders, and they wrote a document to be understood by farmers and merchants and traders, not Ivy League law school professors.
I don't even think it's close, but I also believe that if the former president brings an action to enjoin the proceeding, he will have standing for sure, and that the political doctrine question will not apply given the fact that there are standards. It's not committed. Former officials are not committed by the text to the Senate. Do you expect the former president to do other than try and put on evidence in the Senate, or do you expect him to try and use the courts to stop this charade?
I don't know, Hugh, and I wouldn't presume to dictate what President Trump's legal strategy would be. If he wants to proceed to court, he may have a sound basis. You know, Chief Justice Rehnquist has written in the past that most impeachment questions are not susceptible to judicial review, but he did suggest that one of them could be whether or not the Chief Justice presides at a presidential impeachment. So that could be grounds for judicial review. I also wouldn't presume to tell the president whether he should or should not have witnesses, whether he should or should not appear in person. You know, once we get into the meat of the trial, it really is a trial, and it's up to the House managers and the president's lawyers to present the cases that they want, and we'll listen to those cases. I just think the whole thing is beyond our constitutional authority, and I think there's many other things that we could be spending our time on the Senate that would make a difference in the lives of Americans.
There most certainly are. I do want to ask about the organizing resolution now that there's been an agreement from Kristen Sinema of Arizona and Joe Manchin not to change the filibuster. Will any of your committee assignments change?
I don't know if you yet. It's too soon to tell. I do want to commend Senators Manchin and Senator Sinema for forcefully stating on the record what they have said in the past in the middle of this controversy about the filibuster, that they will not vote to eliminate this long-standing tradition of the Senate, which makes the Senate the chamber that gives the sober second thought on occasion to hasty action in the House, as we will in this impeachment, for instance. And that they are not going to, on a bare partisan majority, ram through a radical change to the nature of the Senate and the nature of our government. So I think it's very commendable that they said that so forcefully publicly and said that under no circumstances would they change their mind as well. Now the Senate can get organized. Our committees will be equally divided. We'll go about our business. We'll do the people's business, and we'll make sure that we don't take radical steps like packing the Supreme Court or making Washington, D.C. a state on a bare partisan majority.
You know, Washington, D.C. is constitutionally prohibited from being a state absent a constitutional amendment. I wish someone would make that point. Very quickly, go ahead, sir. That's it.
That is my view as well, Hugh. That even if they tried to make Washington, D.C. a state, there would be a legal challenge. That legal challenge would fail. The Constitution obviously designed Washington, D.C. as a federal city.
And there's an amendment that says they get one. There's an amendment on D.C. that has to be altered before it changes. Very quickly, Senator Rob Portman has announced his retirement, surprising me. So has Senator Toomey. Do you expect any other members of the Senate to be stepping down?
Well, let me just say, first off, I'm deeply disappointed in Senator Portman and Senator Toomey. They should know better, and I demand that they reconsider and run for re-election in Pennsylvania and Ohio.
I'm with you.
But absent that, I think we'll have good candidates in both states. I'm not aware at the moment of any other senator planning to retire.
Go find them and shake them. I'll tell Portman I'll give him back his $5 on the Bengals-Browns game. Thank you, Senator Cotton. I'll be right back, America, on tomorrow. Thank you, Ben and Harley. Thank you, Adam and Dwayne. You are listening to The Hugh Hewitt Show.